All right, in this video, we're going to talk about our primary edge in the market. It's the TDI. It helps us see shark fins and divergence. But in this video, we're going to talk about what the TDI is. It's actually this box that I have pulled up on the chart. And then we're also going to talk about shark fins and how to find them. So the following video is going to show you more information on that. So let's get to that video.
And so we know this is if on a downtrend, it breaks the support, comes back at resistance, and play number two that we talked about last night was break and retest. And so at that retest, that's structure. We don't need anything to tell us that it's retesting the old support, or if we're in a buy, that we're retesting old resistance. We don't need anything to tell us that. We can just look at the chart and see that. But what Mia talked about was confidence. And so how do you know that it's not going to break right through that and keep going up? And so we look for different components here to give us an edge, extra comfort to know that, yes, it is going to turn at this point. And so one of the things that we utilize is called the TDI. It's the Trader Dynamic Index. And with the TDI for us produces shark fins. So essentially what we're doing is we're looking for an overextended market, that the market is pushing up or it's pushing down and it's overextended. It can't go any lower. It's either it's overbought here where it can't go any higher, or it's oversold where it can't go any lower. And so that's a high probability that price is going to reject off of that area of support or that area of resistance and go the opposite direction or with the trend. And so that gives us high probability trades when we have the TDI there to predict where the bounces are going to occur. All right, and so you're going to learn tonight what the TDI is and how to utilize it. So I'm going to flip over to the chart, and I'm going to show you what the TDI looks like. All right. So now this is, let me do this. All right. I'm gonna take off my MAs. I'm gonna clear my chart here. Actually, let me go over to another chart. All right, I'm at a clean chart. All right, so on your trading view, what you have next to the time frames, and then you have the candles and the line, you have what's called indicators right here. All right, I want you, if you have a double screen, you can do it now. Otherwise, go back and listen to the video and you can do it later. But what we're going to add to your chart is an indicator. So you click on the arrow, and I have it already. Let me see. Or you click on indicators. It's going to pull up this box. I have it already, but I'm going to do it as if I don't have it. And I want you to type in TDI. And I want you to type in gold mines. TDI gold mines. What's going to pull up is a script. And you want the script that's TDI gold mines by Jay Donovan. Right? When you scroll to the left of it, a star will populate. And I just want you to click it so that the star is highlighted. So click it that the star is highlighted. When it's highlighted, you can close out of this box. And now when you click indicators on the drop-down menu, it'll be in your favorites. You scroll down to it and just click it. What's going to populate is this box down here. All right, and so we're going to walk through this box and what to do on this box. All right, so the first thing, I like to make it a little large, take about a third of my screen up, because we utilize that with price action. And then you want to hover down where the TDI is and click this little gear thing. It's going to open up a dialog box for the settings. Then you're going to go over to inputs. And for, excuse me, 1 second here. Okay. All right. And so for the you're going to see RSI period, and I'm going to explain all of this, but I would just want to give you the generic settings. RSI period, you're going to put in 8. Band length, you're going to leave at 34. For the fast MA, you're going to put 2. And for the slow MA, you're going to put 7. All right, so it's going to look like this. You can take a picture of this. We have this in the Discord, so you'll see it. But this is the setting for the TDI: 8, 34, 2, and 7. Now, right next to that, it says style. Really doesn't matter what your style is. I like a specific style, just that I'm used to. So I'll show you what my style is. On the upper band, I like to have that green. And yeah, the weight's fine. And then on the lower band, I like to have that red. And you'll understand why when I do this. For the middle band, I can leave that yellow, but I'm going to fade it out just a little bit there. Actually, I'm going to put it orange because I don't like that color. It hurt my eyes. All right, so the slow MA, we're going to take that out. The fast MA, we're going to take that out. Or excuse me, we're going to leave. No, we're going to leave the fast MA in. We're going to take the slow MA out, leave the fast MA in, but change that to black. And highlight that one, the thickness on that, highlight it to this third bar. We want that kind of thick. And then you want that full transparency. You want that full. Actually, let me turn it down a little bit. All right. Then you're going to have, it has levels. So we only need 2 levels. We want a 25 level. And then we want a 3 levels, a 25 level. Then we want a 50 level. And then we want a 75 level. All right. These 2 don't really matter, but I don't like to have them on my chart. So the levels are going to be 25, 50, 75. Hit OK. And that's your TDI. That's what it's going to look like down here. All right, so I'm going to explain this and what all of this is to you. All right, so I'm going to close out of here, and I'm going to show you what this is on screen first. All right, so what we just created looks like this. All right, and so that red that we have, we call these Bollinger Bands. I'll explain what Bollinger Bands is. But Bollinger Bands, you're going to have an upper band, and then you're going to have a lower band. So upper band, lower band. Think of Bollinger Bands as rubber bands. If it stretches, it'll snap and whatever's touching it will fall to the next band, and then that will stretch, and then it'll go to the next one. All right, so I'll explain that a little more, but you have a top Bollinger Band, I'm coloring that red. Then you have a bottom Bollinger Band. I'm coloring that green, right? In between, you're going to have a bar chart that goes up and down, and we call that the relative strength indicator, or a RSI. The RSI shows the relative strength of the price, right? Relative strength of the price as it relates to the strength settings on the right-hand side. So when it is climbing high, the strength is, it's showing strength for buys, or excuse me, for sales. When it's climbing low, it's showing the strength towards buys. Now, when it reaches over the 75 mark, when the RSI reaches over the 75 mark, that's telling us that the market is overbought and wants and should be selling off. When it reaches below the 25, it tells us that the market is oversold and it's going to start going long. When it is in between, it usually means that the market is trending and price is going to continue in the same direction. All right, now let's build on top of this. What this produces is what we call shark fins. And so just imagine the ocean and imagine a shark fin coming out of the water. So on the top, we have the red Bollinger Band that's going. When the RSI pushes up above the 75 mark and above the water or above the top band, we call that a bearish shark fin. It's the fin is out of water when it's above the 75 and above the band, the upper band. It's a shark fin. It's out of water. That's a signal to us that price is getting ready to fall. When we get that signal at a point of resistance on the chart, that is confluence for us to take the sell down, or the signal for us to take the sell. So you see a couple shark fins here that says it's time to sell. This here is out of water, but it's under the 75. So we don't take this one and view this as a shark fin. Even though it's out of water, above the band, it's below the 75, so it doesn't meet our metrics. So this looks like a shark fin, and you'll tell the difference. There's an open shark fin, but when it closes and starts to come down, that's when we take the trade. So while it's open, we don't take it. When it reaches the peak and starts to come down, we take the trade. Right? Those are shark fins, above the 75 and above the upper band. Now reverse to that. When the RSI is falling below the 25 and below the bottom band, that is a signal, a bullish signal, and a bullish shark fin that says the market is going to start buying. When we find these at a level of support, that is confluence for us to take the buy on price action. So the bullish shark fin and the bearish shark fin are signals to us only at areas of support and resistance. Now, one thing to note is on the higher time frames, these shark fins are more reliable. You can take them on the lower time frames, but lower time frames are very fickle. Higher time frames are more solid. So the higher the time frame where you see the shark fin, the probability of it playing out is greater. Right? Any questions on shark fins so far?
Yes, I have one quick question. So when you say higher time frame, would you say 4 hours and up?
Yeah. 4 hours and up is if you see shark fins on 4 hours and up, those are pretty solid.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And you'll learn the higher time frame shark fins take a while to play out. So if you see a monthly shark fin, it's going to play out. It's going to take a while. Or a daily shark fin, it may not play out that day, but it will play out. The 4 hour is usually where we like to see them.
Mhm.
Although we can take a 8 hour, 12 hour, 15 hour shark fin, even a 1 hour shark fin, you can take those. And we go as low as, you still can take 5 minute, 15-minute shark fins and they play out. But the distance changes the lower you go.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, so we're going to build on top of this shark fin. This gives us edge in our strategy. We talked about the settings. So this is the same settings, the 8, 34, 2, and 7. The settings, and then we talked about the style of shark fins. But I want to jump over to the chart and show you a couple. I screenshotted a few today. All right, so this is AJ right here. This was a couple days ago, actually. So what you see is AJ is on a trend line. This trend is acting as support. So AJ's climbing and it's acting as support. Multiple touches on the trend line. It breaks through the trend line, and now the trend line is acting as resistance. All right, so we hit this area of support here, resistance. We broke through that. Now that is acting as support as price is climbing. Price goes back up and hits the trend line. When it hits the trend line here, we're at an area of support, we're at our resistance, a trend line, proven resistance from the past. And when we look at the TDI is an open shark fin where it has broken through the bands and has broken above the 75 and is now turning down. So we call this an open shark fin. Right. And so that's a signal for us that we have an open shark fin at a trend line resistance area. And so what happens next? The shark fin closes and price drops right at that area. So now when it closes and hits the band, we call that a closed bearish shark fin. And we can enter the trade up here and ride it down. So now it goes all the way down, and now it's in the buy territory. So we leave it alone. At that point, this trade has now played out in our favor. So visualize this because you're going to see this in the market over and over again. And we hunt for these in the market. So you can even see right here, it's hitting the trend line and we have a shark fin. All right, this shark fin goes from one band, goes down to the other band and gives us a signal to get out once it hits that band. At an area of resistance, now turn support, you can exit right there. All right, any questions so far? Good. It's a pretty easy concept. And you're gonna see this over and over again. It's a pretty easy concept. The homework for today is going to be spotting shark fins, adding the TDI and spotting shark fins for yourself.
Tim, one more question. Sorry, so many questions. I just want to make sure the middle, I believe you said the RSI, like the light yellow. You said when it's in between like that, it's trending pretty much it's staying in the current trend that is in, so no trades would be taken.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll see things like right here, the price is going up. It's trending upwards here. When you look at the TDI, the TDI starts to climb, but then it starts ranging above the 50. When it ranges above the 50, that's an uptrend. It's not going to give you a shark fin. It's just going to range above the 50. You see it here too. It's just ranging above the 50 and in between the 75. That's what it does during an uptrend. It does the same thing on a downtrend. It'll range below the 50 down here as the price goes down. And so once it's in the range, it gives you a good entry point. But once it's in the range, say this one wants to continue down, what it will do is it'll start ranging below the 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, so that's shark fins. Shark fins is a really easy concept. It's the reason why we use it in the community, because everybody understands shark fins and everybody can spot them. So it's everybody knows how to do trend lines. Everybody knows how to spot shark fins. All right, so that's a pretty easy concept for us to grasp. We utilize that, but we also utilize something else along with this, because sometimes there can be false shark fins where you may see a shark fin and the shark fin doesn't play out. But when it doesn't play out, it gives us a better entry. And that's called divergence.
So you learned about shark fins and the TDI. Make sure that's set up on your chart, because we're going to be using that a lot for our edge in the market, knowing when the market is going to reverse, when it's going to hit resistance or support and turn around. The shark fins are going to help us predict that. I mentioned divergence. We're going to talk about that in the next video. But for this video, what I want you to do is go to the chart, start going through your different pairs, and identify, once you have your TDI set up, identify shark fins. And so like I have the EU trade that we're doing, and we can spot shark fins. So here's a shark fin here. Let me go back and just look for some both buy and sell. So here's a shark fin right here at the top. We see the sell off when that shark fin appears. Let me find one from the bottom. Here's one from the bottom. You see the shark fin below the 25, below the bands. Once that shark fin starts to close, we see the push up in price action. So it hits the level of support, pushes up in price action. Let me keep showing a few more. Here's one here. Shark fin comes up, it's above the 75. Once it's above the 75, you see that big drop down to support. Once it's at support, it's a shark fin the other way, below the 25 and below the bands, and then it starts to push up from that point. So I go through the chart, identify a few shark fins using your TDI, and then we'll talk about divergence in the next video.